try to do our best to update the students. But if you don't attend a webinar, don't answer an email or check your text messages, you'll never get the update. So if you're here, I appreciate you being here. If you're a student or a teacher, or you are a sheet metal company, I appreciate you coming out today. Won't take us very long to do this. It's a very short presentation, but it's important because as we're wrapping up the current year and getting ready to plan for September, this is important information. And the last thing we want to do is have a student or a company say, no one told me, I wasn't sure. We're already planning out in September. So give everybody another minute or so. Once again, if you're here, please put your name in the chat for me so I can just.
Recording in progress.
I'm going to ask everybody to mute for me. If you could mute, that'd be great. Give another 1 more minute to get people in here. All right. Welcome, everybody. This is your presentation for the sheet metal program that'll be starting up here in September. The reason that we're doing this is to kind of update everybody on some updated schedules, updated requirements, talk about some new curriculum. Like I said, we're going to meet the staff today. We're going to talk about the new accelerated program in our Barica location, talk about some updates and enhancements to the curriculum. We'll talk about an expanded hands-on training opportunities, some industry-driven improvements designed to better prepare students for the workforce. And then we'll talk about ways employers can continue partnering with us and supporting the students. It's very important. All right. If you're just joining us, put your name in the chat for me. That'd be great. I just want to record if you are here, not here. As we are rolling out some new things, people always say, "Oh, I didn't know. No one told me." That's the reason why we do these webinars. It's why we try to stay connected. If you've been a student for the Gould and been to any of my orientations, we say it a lot. Stay connected, right? So if you hate getting text messages from the Gould and you don't want to stay connected, then you can block us. But then when things change, those are the students, the first thing they say is, no one told me. Well, I can go back and look that you blocked all our text messages. So if I can't get a hold of you via email or text or a robocall, this is important to stay connected. All right. Real quick, we'll talk about the staff. Julie, I know Julie's not feeling well, so I'll talk for Julie, but Julie is the school president. She's in charge of all things strategic planning, handles everything with board of directors, and she does a great job building relationships with the different licensing boards, outreach programs, advisory boards, things like that. I know Diane is here. Diane, do you want to say hi? I think she's got microphone issues. Diane is education director. She handles all the curriculum, new program development, establishing school partners. She handles the school license, does a lot of things with the craft classes and curriculum content. So she's working with Joe Millett behind some of the curriculum updates. She oversees the execution of online trainings and new industry-related training opportunities. And then Michelle Howe, she's the finance coordinator. You may have to deal with her. You're sending out, invoices, paying for school, things like that. And then we've got Kayla Rodriguez Santiago. She's a student affairs advisor. She handles all the registrations, all the attendance, class rosters. You may get a lot of communication from Kayla, so she's an important person to stay connected with, as well as all the correspondence and trade education program registrations. Then you got me. I'm the apprenticeship director. I'm the instructor liaison. I do a lot of stuff with the teachers. I do a lot of stuff with apprenticeship. So if you have any questions about apprenticeship after the webinar, please stay on. We'll answer all those questions for you. I'm a master trainer, handle a lot of the classroom admin, and then Joe Millett. He's a sheet metal program manager. Brought him on board last year. He has been a teacher for the Gould for many years. He is heavily involved with the school, and he saw an opportunity to, make the sheet metal program better, right? Take what we have, the current foundation. For those that don't know, we get our curriculum from the NCCER, which is the National Center for Construction Education and Research. Their program is a 4-year program. We've got to stretch those 4 years into 5 years, and Joe's here to help us do that, right? He's going to throw in some improved curriculum, a better syllabus, talk about some best practices. He's going to oversee the maintenance of the equipment in Barica. He's also acts as a school ambassador, help build relationship with the sheet metal industry, stakeholders, schools, and community organizations. All right, so that's the staff. I'll stay on after the webinar. If anybody has any questions, we can answer those questions then. All right, so what is the Gould? If you're brand new, never been to the Gould before, this is your going to the first year or going to the second year. We have been around since 1983. We're the education and training affiliate for ABC Massachusetts. We work very closely with ABC Massachusetts members, and we're fully licensed by the Mass Department of Professional Licensure and the Office of Private Occupational School Education. Been around since 1983. It's over 40 years, right? I think we've trained something like 26,000 apprentices and students. It's a lot. We're doing the best we can. We're trying to grow the school. You know, everybody hears every day how the trades need people. So we're trying to grow the school, have as much opportunity for the students as possible, but we're very limited by classroom size and space and the number of teachers we have. All right, so that's important stuff to know. Someone always asks, where do you guys have schools? Here's where we have all our schools. All locations. We go as far west as North Adams. We go as far north as Manchester, New Hampshire. And the yellow stars and yellow highlighted are for the sheet metal students. That's where we currently have a sheet metal program. All right. We would love to offer it more. That should actually be another star. So we're actually down here in Taunton. All right. We'd love to offer more classes. I don't have enough teachers. I'd love to offer more classes. I don't have enough classroom space. All right. So it's all important stuff to know. So if you're sitting home and you're like, why is the Gould doing this? Why don't they have enough classroom space? I don't have enough space. I don't have enough teachers. All right. So we're always looking for teachers. You'll hear that mentioned quite a bit today. All right. So we're very excited to offer a new accelerated program in our Barica location. Why Barica? That's our very first brick and mortar schoolhouse. We control the entirety of the school. So we can do whatever we want there. 2 nights a week, 5 nights a week, once a week. We tried once a week this year. A lot of students really love that once a week. Tough on the teachers because now the teachers, instead of going from September to May, it's September to late June. All right, that makes the school year even longer. So we're trying to shorten the school year. And this accelerated program will help us do that by going twice a week for 4 hours a night. Lab times will be on Saturdays. You got to go one Saturday a month. Someone's going to say, I can't go Saturdays. I got my kids. Can't go Saturdays. I got to go to school, or I got to work, or I got overtime, or I have my kids. You're going to be required to go to one Saturday a month, and we're going to release a schedule ahead of time so everybody kind of knows, right? Some of the feedback we get from the teachers is the classroom size. Putting 30 students in a class, 30 students in the shop is very, very unsafe. So we're going to limit the class number to 25. All right. So what does that mean, right? Early bird pricing is going to open up in about a month. June 16th, classes are going to fill up very, very quickly. So if you wait and say, I'm going to sign up in August or September, those classes will be filled. All right. So do not wait. Do not say I'm going to wait until September because classroom size 25 is going to be filled. By the time September rolls out, we'll have the new and improved curriculum. It's going to include some CMR information. It's going to give the International Mechanical Code updates. We're going to work a little better on the test prep classes, both the journeyman's and the master's test prep. We now have a 40-hour state-approved master's course, which will be great. We'll include the SMACN updates and FPA updates, and it'll allow us to have a fall and a winter semester. So for everyone listening, if you're going to Barica next year, and this is only in our Barica location, all right, makeup hours will be done on Friday afternoons, but it's going to allow us to have a fall semester and a winter semester. That's going to look a little like this. All right, there's your schedule. And if you're starting sheet metal 1 in September, if you take sheet metal 1 from September to December and you finish it all, you'll be able to jump into a sheet metal 2 in January or April. All right. If you don't want to jump into a sheet metal 2 and you want to be done in December, you're done. That's it. You get your 159 hours, 160 hours from September to December. It's accelerated. You're going to meet twice a week, one Saturday a month. You'd be all done sheet metal 1 in December by the time the break rolls around. All right. That's if there's no snow days. That's if the teacher doesn't cancel, things like that. And if you see there, this one kind of runs through. If you're a brand new sheet metal student attending in September, you could run through all 5 levels and be done in 2 years. All right. You still need the work hours, but at least you can get the school hours done. And like I said, if you don't want to take a sheet metal 2 in January and you just want to work and don't want to worry about school, don't worry about it. Sign back up for September, sheet metal 2 in September of 27. If the sheet metal 1 is full or the sheet metal class is full, you could take it in the next semester. All right. That's kind of how that helps us out there. All right. You would take a sheet metal 1 in January, Sheet metal 2, September of 27. You'll be all done in 2029 school hours. All right, someone's going to ask, what does this mean for me? What does this mean for us? You'll have the option to take a sheet metal 1 from September to December, take a sheet metal 2 from January to May. All right, it looks kind of like this. So if you've already taken a sheet metal 1 class with us, you'll sign up for a sheet metal 2 class in September. You can continue on in sheet metal 3 in January. You don't have to take a class if you don't want. You can just not go to school. You get all your hours done. Or you can sign up in January, right? Same thing, September, sheet metal 3. You can take sheet metal 3 to September to December, sheet metal 4, sheet metal 5. You can get all 3 levels done in a year and a half and then just work, right? We're trying to help the students out a little bit. It's more of an ask, right? More of an ask up front. But when you're in there and you get it all done, you're going to appreciate the accelerated program. Now, this is only in our Barica location, all right? It's very important to remember that. All right. Down in Taunton, we're going to go twice a week. It'd be Tuesdays and Thursdays. The teachers down there asked us if they could put them all on the same night, so we're going to do that. All the classes will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. Class size will be limited to 25. Same thing. Early bird registration opens up. So if you're the type of person that's going to wait, or if you're a company that's going to wait until August or September, those classes will be filled. And if you've got students that need those hours, do not wait. I'm telling you. Both Taunton and Manchester schedules up there, right? Same thing. They're going to have the improved curriculum, updated CMR information, International Mechanical Code updates, SMACNA updates, NFPA updates, both in Manchester and Taunton. We're trying to offer 2 through 5 up in Manchester, so I'm trying to work on a few more teachers. All right, so here's what's it look like, right? An updated syllabus, much like you get at a college course. There'll be an updated syllabus. We're going to try to have the teachers doing pre-assessment tests, right? So first couple of days of class, sheet metal 3, you may take a pre-assessment test. I want the teacher to know, what you learned, right? We're going to do a little more testing during the year. It's very important. It's how we know what you're learning. If you don't take it serious, and this is one of the complaints we get from the teachers, the students don't take the test seriously. Well, you should take it seriously because it's getting you ready to take the big test at the end of the 5 years. So if you're fooling around and you're not taking the test seriously, little quizzes and tests, how are you going to know what's on the test? Someone will say, Mike, none of those questions are on the test. But these are questions that may show up on another test, and you may have to know, not just a bunch of code questions. Number 2, we're talking about some new updates and enhancements to the curriculum. We're going to do more hands-on projects in the shop, in the lab. We'll give you a more detailed syllabus. We'll be broken down by class. Students will be graded on test, quizzes, projects. Attendance is important, and participations. If you're one of those people that says, I don't have to participate, you're going to be part of the code and part of your grade. We're going to go more on updates on code review. We're going to prep more sheet metal 5. We'll do some more test prep and review in sheet metal 5. That's important stuff. All right. That's the second bucket. And that's for all the locations: Barica, Taunton, Manchester, and Martha's Vineyard. We talked about some expanded hands-on training opportunities and industry-driven improvements designed to better prepare the students for the workforce, right? So we'll listen to the students, we'll listen to the teachers. We're going to do more real-life lab projects, a little less building birdhouses, a little more doing things you're actually going to, go over in the workforce. Some duct design, duct leak testing. We're going to go over more of the safety and then equipment setup, right? So if you're not the type of guy or a student that works in a shop, we're going to go over how to set up some of the equipment. We'll do some more fabrication layout. Our sheet metal program manager is working on some actual projects the teachers are going to have to learn how to do. There'll be less birdhouses and more ducts, more returns, things like that. Our number 5 talks about some ways employers can continue partnering with and supporting our students. So the number 1 thing that the teachers are really asking for is the employers give those employees time to get to class. All right. One of the big complaints from the teachers is that the students are showing up late. The first thing they say is, well, I worked until 5. I can't get it till 6 o'clock. Well, class starts at 5. And the policy is 15 minutes. So if you've got students that are getting to class after that 15-minute window, they're probably either not going to be led into class, or they're going to be, shown as late and may have to make up that time. Please allow the employees time to get to class. All right. I know it's hard. I know they're working. They're making you money. I get it. But you're paying for the education. They're paying for the education. The teachers get really frustrated with those students that constantly show up late. And the first thing they say is, my boss didn't let me go. All right. Please provide the correct code books to your employees. We're going to try to see what we can do to help out with that a little bit. But, all these SMACNA, IMC, all these code books cost a lot of money. We're trying not to pass that on to the students. The code books are expensive. They could be $150 to $200 a piece. So if the employers could help us out with that, that'd be great. Please remind your students the importance of being in class on time. If you're letting them go at 2 o'clock to get to a class at 5, remind them that they need to get there, because a lot of them are using that excuse of my employer wouldn't let me go to get to class. With the Barica students, if you have to make up class, they'll be done on Saturdays. Nobody wants to go to school on Saturdays. I know that. So if you have to make up hours, I would try to avoid that at all costs. Make sure you're in class when you're supposed to be there. Another big complaint from the teachers is that students are coming to class dressed like they're going to the beach, flip-flops, shorts. They're coming in Crocs. They're not coming in the right shoes. Can't go in the lab, or can't sit in the classroom if you don't have the right shoes on. Please make sure you tell the students to show up dressed as if they're going to work. And then we'll look for some people to join a GCI sheet metal roundtable. Could be employers, could be students, it could be anybody interested in helping make the sheet metal program better. We do have an important update on the virtual classes that, due to the recent changes implemented by the sheet metal board and their approval of 75 hours of virtual training, we're not going to offer any virtual classes for the upcoming school year. They want to do 75 hours virtual and 75 hours in person. With a virtual class, everybody spread out around the entire state. It'd be really hard to get those students to come together for 75 hours of in-person shop class. All classes will be done in person for sheet metal. We appreciate your understanding as we work to ensure compliance with the updated board requirements. And then we'd like to cover this as well. You only need 150 hours, but when we build the classes, we build them up to be 159 or 160 hours. Those are your additional makeup hours. If you don't need them, don't go. But, if you're one of those people that has a tough time getting to class and you're going to miss 10 classes, you're really hurting yourself. Employers, same thing. If you've got people that are supposed to be in class and you need them to work, makeup classes are $100 each. It's very important. They're not just extra hours, they're additional mandatory hours. They're kind of built-in makeup hours. So instead of just scheduling 150 hours, then every time you need a class, we're going to charge you $100. We build it in. So make it to class as much as you can. If you have to miss it for a sick kid, a sick spouse, you got to work in overtime, something happened, stuck in traffic, car broke down. There's a million reasons why you might miss class. We're going to give you 3 additional makeup classes. All right. They're already built in. So what does that mean? If you miss 4 classes, you miss 3 or more, you're going to have to pay $100 for that one makeup class. All right. Saturdays, you're going to end up paying 2 makeup classes because it's actually 8 hours on a Saturday and not 4 hours if you're going to Barica. All right. So if you're an employer, please make sure your apprentices get to class. If you're a student, please do everything you can to get to class. These are your work school hours. In the end, once you get that license, it's all going to be worth it at the end. All right. A couple of reminders. Register for early bird. It's going to open up June 16th. Right? You want to save yourself a couple $100 and guarantee yourself a seat in the class. You're going to be registered by 6/16. We're going to limit the classroom size to 25 students. If your company's in the BMC program or is involved with the apprentices, keep an eye on your email for the BMC invoices coming out next week. And take this information and share with your employees, share with your coworkers, share with your friends. If anybody has any questions about anything, we're here to answer any questions. Some important numbers you may need to know: our office phone number. We're in the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. Fridays, we usually get out a little bit early, depending on what's going on in the office. Emails are best. I would email before you come over. I would call before you come over. I answer the phone 100% of the time. 99% of the time I'm here. We can get the phone if you need it. Email me on the weekends. Doesn't matter. I'll get back to you. If you email me, Mike, I have to talk to you. I'll give you my personal cell number. We can talk. All right. Very important. We're always looking for teachers. Again, classes in Barica are limited. I don't have very many classrooms. I don't have very many large classrooms, and I don't have enough teachers. So I'm looking for teachers. If an employer had 2 people that could split the school year up, that'd be great. Somebody does it from January to December. Someone does it from January to May. Whatever it is, we need your help. Right? Any questions? If you're just joining us, I'd like you to just put your name in the chat so I have a record of you being here. Appreciate everybody coming. That's pretty much the whole spiel. If anybody has any questions, they can stay on. They can ask us questions. Diane's here. Joe Millett's here.
Yeah,
I have
Mike,
one
I have
Sorry.
one question.
Go for it.
So this past year I was in sheet metal 3 on Monday nights, and one of the Monday nights that we were in class, Al couldn't have made it, and Joe came in and gave us about 5 different exams and said we were going to receive these back. Are we ever going to get those back so I can study them for the test, or was that for your knowledge?
Yeah, you'll get him back. Where was it? Monday nights, Arlindo's class in Burica.
Yes, sir.
All
Burica.
right. Yeah, we'll get him back to you. Good question.
Michael, I also had a question for you. I just wanted to know if you guys had any intention of doing the fast tracks at Bristol Plymouth.
No, because I don't have the teachers don't have the ability. We don't have the space to do that either.
Okay, but you guys are still offering 2, 3, 4, and 5 there?
Yep. It
All
was a
right.
presentation. Yep, Taunton's a full. Yep,
Perfect.
Taunton's gonna be Tuesdays and Thursdays in Taunton.
Okay,
All levels, Tuesdays and Thursdays.
thank you.
Hey, Michael, for those of us who joined late, will you be sharing the presentation out so we can see the first couple of slides, or will this recorded presentation be posted somewhere?
Yeah, I'll send it out.
Thank you.
If you have no questions, you're free to go. If you left your name in the chat, that's great. That way I have a record of you coming today. I do save all these chats as a proof of record. I've got Joe Millett here. If anybody's any questions about the curriculum, anybody has any questions about the schedules, you are free to go. If you don't have to ask any questions, you're free to go. If you want to
Michael, I
stay on
just
it.
have a quick question. This is Wendy
Sure.
Pignoni at 128 Plumbing.
Sure.
Are any of these changes coming because of changes at the board level? And do you see any changes for like the ratios, like changing between like education and work experience?
First question was some of the changes are due to the board changing some things. For example, up in Burica, I don't have very many teachers and I don't have very many classrooms up there. So I'm making the schedule based on availability. Instead of offering a bunch of levels that I don't have a teacher for, I'm only going to offer levels I have a teacher for, because it just becomes a headache. If I have 30 people sign up for a class that I don't have a teacher for, I got to refund all that money. I'm only going to advertise classes. And then the sheet metal board, they used to allow us to do virtual trainings. This year they changed up the regulations. They said 75 in person, 75 virtual.
Okay.
That becomes a massive scheduling headache, because if I got someone that lives out in Pittsfield taking a sheet metal class, they're not going to drive to Taunton to do a hands-on. That's a 3-hour ride one way.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, ratio wise,
the,
we have nothing to do with ratios. That's all going to be on the board, and that's all up to the union.
Okay. I think that splitting the semester is great, like that they can do sheet metal 1 and then sheet metal 2 right away. So like having that fall and winter semester will be really good. I think that some of our guys might really want to take advantage of that.
Yeah. And then if they just want to do sheet metal 1 and then take the winter off because they want to work, they can do that too.
All right. Thank you.
That's great. Good question.
This is Julie, everybody. Hi. I also want to add that, having a schedule in advance, we hope that that's a tool that employers can use for scheduling. Sometimes it's a little bit easier knowing like what those dates are going to be, so that you can kind of figure out what apprentices can be where for service calls, or trying to figure out how your schedule goes. So having the 2 time slots, hopefully 2 semesters, will give employers more flexibility to help their apprentices get through the education. And then again, like, as Mike was been saying, this is a great way for students to, a 5-year career path in sheet metal is a long time, and it's 5 years of school, but it's only 4 years of work. So it's a nice way to get that accelerated rate going so that you can get through those hours and stay on track to get your license.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then, everyone says, "Oh, I can't do Saturdays, and I got my kid, I got work." It's 1 Saturday a month. So if from September to December, you can do 1 Saturday a month, and then you'll be done.
Is the schedule going to be posted, or
It
did
will,
you?
yep.
Okay,
It will be
perfect.
posted. Yep.
I fucking stamped this.
How you doing? I got a question. I'm going to Bristol Plymouth this year for my sheet metal 3. You said they're only doing one class for the semester now, I guess, on Monday,
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays and Thursdays.
Yep.
What if you
Tuesdays.
don't get in it? What if you're not one of the 25 to get in? What are you supposed to do? There's only 25 for class, you said, right?
Yep. You register early, or you have to pick a different location to go to.
Okay. All right. That's fine.
It's a great question. You know, if anybody in here
Because
has anybody,
we had more than 25 kids in our class last year, so that's why I'm asking.
yep.
All right.
So
All right.
we get the feedback from the teachers, right? Teachers,
Ryan's doing
they're worried about having 28, 30 kids in a class. There's only 28 seats in the class, and then you bring them in the shop, and there's 30 students in a class. In the shop thing, it gets a little to be too much. Students getting hurt. We want to prevent people from getting hurt, so try to limit how many students in the class. And that's, if you know someone's going to be a teacher, if I could find somebody else to add as a second teacher down there, we'll add a second teacher and have an overflow. But it's so hard to find a teacher. I'm on Indeed every day trying to find somebody, trying to find people, but it's hard. Good question. Everybody's free to go. If you have any questions, you're free to go.
Mike,
Everybody- Yes.
real quick.
Yeah, Robbie.
I assume down at Bristol Plymouth, we're going to be in the new facility. Is that
That's the
correct?
plan. That's the plan.
Okay.
They told us she'd be ready to go in September. They got some. They said they're going to be there in September, ready to go.
Okay. All right.
Good question, Robbie.
Mike, I think you already answered the question. This is Brian Sheehan. I'm with Waterline Industries. I got one apprentice going to the Bill Ricker class.
Yeah.
We travel a lot. So we're out, in the southern part of the state. We're in Maine, we're out in Martha's Vineyard too. If by chance he was working on Martha's Vineyard and he was taking the tier 4, could he sit in on a class out there if he's working?
I'm gonna let Diane. It depends if it's full or not.
Okay.
So I would just say, and then, he's gonna be out there for 2 weeks. He's gonna be out there for 6 months. How long is he gonna be down Martha's Vineyard for? And then go from there. And then, like I said, if you go to Barica, he can, if he's gonna be busier after the first year, maybe he just stays in Barica for January, December.
Right.
Sorry, September to December time frame, and then after that, he can go to Martha's Vineyard and not even worry about going to school anymore.
Yeah, last year was pretty tough with us because we'd have to cut him loose to get the ferry. So he'd literally have to leave at noontime to make the class for 5.
Yeah, that's
up in
crazy.
Bill Ricker. So
Yeah, I would say that, if you think he's going to be there for a while, a couple of weeks,
yeah.
We could talk to the teacher down in Martha's Vineyard, see if we could squeeze him in.
Okay.
Good
Awesome.
question.
Thank you.
It's a great question. It's a good possibility to have at least. At least you got someone down there.
Yeah, that was the beauty of the online one. Online one, you just have to have a good connection, and you could do it. But
Be grateful you're not an electrical apprentice because they do no virtual learning whatsoever. None, zero. They won't even entertain the offer. Zero. Your butt you're not in a seat somewhere in a physical classroom. And the virtual, we love it. We think it's great. We try to help as many people as we can in the sheet metal trade, but it's getting to be a real hard time to schedule now because, like I say, if you get shop in Taunton and you're coming from Pittsfield, no one's driving 4 hours one way to do a shop class for a few hours.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Thanks.
All right.
Good presentation, Mike.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. I'm going to stay on. Diane will stay on for a few minutes. I'm going to start letting people, they can go if they don't want to hang out.
Mike,
Good
I
to
got
see
one
everybody.
for you.
Go ahead, Derek. Fire away.
So when we register on June 16th, can we register for, say we were doing years 2 and 3 both at the same time?
You can. Yep.
Okay, so come June, I can register for my second year and my third year right then?
Go for it.
Okay, and then
At the-
following
You
that,
want to do it? You're going to do it at the same time? You're going to do it like semester by semester?
semester by semester, I just didn't know if, like, say for like the second half of the year, we had to wait until, say, December to register for those classes.
Nope. Register away,
Okay,
my
cool.
friend. Get those because they're going to fill up fast. They're gonna
Right, yeah.
Not having a virtual option. People are gonna be, may have to wait till next January to take a sheet metal 2 class if the twos get filled up in September.
Right, right. I did have another question as well. So I was just looking at this. On the board website, it says that you can do your 750 hours of training classes in a period of no less than 5 years. Is
Mhm.
that, will this be affected by that? Or like even if we did our schooling in say 3 years and we did the work in 4, do we still have to wait the 5 years to apply for a J1?
You do, yep.
Okay.
Yep. Good
Oh.
question though.
Yeah, well, because that changes my opinion on the situation. If I could apply for it sooner, I would try and bust the classes out as quick
Yep.
as possible. But now, if I don't have to kill myself doing 2 semesters in a year and it's
Yep.
worth it to space it out.
Yep.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you.
That's a fantastic question. We thought about that here, and it's like, so many students say, I'm missing out on overtime and I'm missing out on making extra money. So it's all right. Then just do your sheet metal 2 from September to May or September to December, and then you're free to do whatever you want. But if you want to get the school hours done and then get it all done, and then when you're all done, you can just work as much as you have to. It's even better.
Sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Good question.
Mike, I was late coming to the meeting here. So when down in Taunton, down at BP, did I hear you right? Is it only going to be Tuesday, Thursday, or is it going to be
Tuesdays and Thursdays? That's what the teachers down they wanted. Everybody on the same nights.
Okay, that's fine. Because I did 4 nights last year. I did 2 nights virtual and 2 nights in person, which I had no problem with. I'm kind of semi-retired. I don't mind taking another class. I just don't want to travel. Bill Ricker is that's a hike for me, or even Plymouth. If you had something in person close to somewhere on the South Shore, I got no problem with it. But I just think it's
Yeah, we're not gonna, because of the whole virtual thing and the 75 hours in person, 75 hours in virtual. We're not going to do any virtual classes next year. So, that was the board's decision to either you weren't allowed to like pick and choose a la carte. You had to be 75
in or
hours in
out,
person. Yeah, 75 hours in person, 75 hours virtual, and it's just too hard to schedule people that way. People are going to sign up and then never be able to go in person because they live too far away or
right.
just can't do it that way. So
Okay.
I mean, I guess we say is if Robbie needs sheet metal 5 class gets full on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have to add a second day. We'll add a second day.
Yeah. Again, driving to Taunton didn't bother me. Driving to Franklin didn't bother me. Driving to Billerica.
No.
Driving to Lawrence.
No.
Yeah, those were tough.
I don't want to drive to Taunton from where I live. I'm good. I don't want to drive to Plymouth from where I live. I'm good. No way.
Just like I don't want to drive to Billerica from where I live.
I understand. We need a place in between. Let's buy a place in between, Robbie. We'll just GCI can pay for it.
Somewhere around on 128, Waltham is fine with me.
That's fine too. I like that. That's all right.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
But again, Mike, I said it at the meeting down at Taunton. I'll work with you. If I gotta, even if you said to me, hey, we got a Saturday, Robbie, can we do like a Saturday in the shop down at Taunton? I've done that in the past. When we had to get the shop hours in during COVID or whatever it was. I had guys down there on a Saturday. I don't mind. I don't mind that. I'll work. I'll work with you. But
yeah, we appreciate that. And then I ultimately really want it to be turnkey every year, right? So every year is the same dates, the same days.
Yeah.
We know we're going to be Tuesdays, Thursdays, 1 through 5. It's not like Robbie can only do Mondays and Tuesdays, which is what we've been doing in the past with other people. And it comes so hard with scheduling stuff. We need to make it turnkey template every year. Erica's going to go this, then that, and Ton's going to go Tuesdays and Thursdays. And, it makes it so much easier for planning the schedule, planning a calendar, planning a catalog.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been talking about back to school since February. It's May now. We don't go back to school till September. So
yeah,
trying to make it easier.
before, just, talking about going, if we're going into the new facility, can we make sure that we are in the HVAC shop and not the metal fabrication shop?
Yeah, Diane's on already. Diane's already in talks with them. She's been back
Okay,
and
good.
forth.
Yeah, yeah, that just makes life a little bit easier for us down there. That's all. Classrooms are classrooms. I don't care. But when I go to the shop, I want to make sure that I'm in the HVAC shop, not
Yep.
the metal fab shop.
Diane's working on it. She's already talking to people about it. We heard you guys loud and clear. We're gonna try to
Yeah.
do
I
what we
think
can.
Greg. I think the liaison there, Greg. Greg was his name. I think. Yeah. I think he understood that too.
Yeah.
I think he was. Yeah. He seemed like he understood what we were saying. Good. All right.
All
Well,
right.
yeah.
Thanks, everybody. That's it. Anybody else have any questions? Thanks, Robbie. Appreciate you. Anybody else
All
have
right,
any
Matt.
questions? See you in September.